first applying to school at the university and trying to determine what I was going to do, I had to choose a major. And I decided that I wanted to help people. And so that's why I chose social work as my major. My name's Amanda Metivier, and I work with young people who are transitioning out of the foster care system. I'm an alumni of foster care myself and an advocate for foster care reform. By the time I got into foster care, I was so far behind in high school that I ended up just getting my GED. And so coming into UAA, I tested into all preparatory classes. I struggled a lot. It was really just sort of overwhelming, the college experience, and I know it is for most first-year freshmen, but just the anxieties of things that I had happening in my life. So I was an adult, and I got to choose my relationship at that point with my biological parents and what that was going to look like. And so there's all these additional stressors. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I got a GED, and I was actually getting ready to, I was going to go to hair school, actually. I was checking out trendsetters, and I was thinking, okay, that's it. It's my career. And my caseworker came to my house one day for a home visit to visit with me, and he said, hey, there's this funding available, and you could actually go to college. And I was like, whoa, I barely got my GED. Casing Foster Care in Alaska started in 2003, and what it was the Office of Children's Services, their independent living program, and the National Casey Foundation came together, and they wanted to create a youth advisory board. So they wanted to get together a group of young people from throughout Alaska who were in foster care, who had recently left care, and get feedback on how to make things better. And so I got a call from my caseworker at the time who said, come to this event, meet these other youth. And I was like, oh, that's stupid. So I didn't go to the initial meeting. I just wasn't really interested in being, singled out as a foster kid. So I just really felt normal, and I didn't like my friends knowing. I was really ashamed. And so even just for me being a part of FFCA and meeting other youth who were stressed out about, life after foster care and what it looked like, I felt for the first time like I belonged because of my foster care experience. So initially it was really about just allowing foster youth a sense of normalcy, so all of us connected as peers before we ever thought about anything related to advocacy. We started advocating for changes. Here we developed this really great agenda of items and things that we wanted to change, and we were so inspired and we were so excited. And so of course we brought it to the state initially, and we said, hey, here's the changes that we want to make, and they said, that's impossible. A light bulb went off. I'm like, we're going to leverage the media. We're going to call up Channel 2 and say, hey, this is a problem. And then when the community knows it's a problem, then it's a real issue, right? When the community is aware and people outside of the system are aware, and it sort of forces the system or the state or whoever to actually make those changes. And so that's what we did. We had a rally outside of OCS, and we called up all the news stations and the newspapers and started putting out press releases and really pushing it so the public started to be aware more so of what was going on, and we were writing articles and compass pieces and just educating the community. Really an opportunity for youth to speak up and tell their story, but also for the community to become more aware of what needed to be changed. But also people were then calling up their legislators or whoever because they saw this was an issue and were concerned. That youth who were aging out of the foster care in our state become homeless at a rate of about 40%, end up incarcerated at some point after foster care at a rate of about 38%. About 61% of females who are aging out of the foster care system become parents before age 19. They're twice as likely to have their own children removed. So we know there's a lot of really negative outcomes. Additional funding to support youth who are transitioning into post-secondary education, housing assistance. There's a mentoring program now for youth ages 16 to 21. Foster care is extended to 21. Youth can re-enter the system. So a number of things have changed. Teach youth about the system and how it operates, so they get more of sort of a working knowledge of child protection in our state. And then can initially first become real advocates for themselves. If they're in foster care, they're more likely to speak up because they know more about their rights. All young people have an opportunity to be leaders, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're a leader if you're standing up in front of a crowd or if you're somebody's boss. I mean, you can be a leader in lots of different ways, and that's how you present yourself in the community. That's how you just move forward in being a good overall person just in life and presenting yourself each and every day from a point of view that's just positive.